up, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Mr. Movie Review Tuesday. Now, I know today is November 1st, but you gotta admit that Halloween vibe is still in the air, so I figured I'd shoot one more video just to say farewell to October and Halloween up until next year. And today, I'm going to be doing a new segment called Remake or Reject, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Now, the original Rocky Horror Picture Show, I believe, came out around 1975, and earlier this month, they did a remake of it. So I'm not going to do a retro review for this video because I'm going to tie in the original and the remake. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Now, I watched the original one starring Tim Curry for the first time. I was like 13 years old. I was automatically hooked on it. I loved the original one. To me, I didn't think it could be improved on. It had a good camp to it. The songs in it were awesome. I really loved the original. And when I heard that they were doing the remake, I was skeptical, as I am when I hear they're going to be doing remakes. And so, you know, as I do with almost any movie, I gave it a shot, and it turns out I was right. The movie, it was awful. The acting was bad. They took that sort of rock element out of the songs and turned it into something that sounded more modern and poppy and that kind of stuff. I mean, you just can't do that with that kind of a movie. It's not meant for that. Excuse me. I guess I'll try and break it down, you know, piece by piece to kind of show you what I'm talking about here. It was just, I guess I'll start with, you know, Columbia. She was played by Little Nell in the original, and, you know, she had that sort of high, shrill voice in it, but she portrayed that character. She, you know, how can I put this? She made that character her own, I guess. She really pushed the lines, and she really portrayed that character well. And you go into the 2016 version with, I believe her name was Annabelle Ashley or something like that. And one of my big complaints with her is the way she delivered her lines. She was just so blasé about it, you know? Like, she was just basically reading from cue cards or something. Like, she put no emotions, and I don't know if that's how she meant to portray it, but to me, it didn't work. I didn't like the way she portrayed it. I'm going to stop right there, and I'll show you a clip of Little Nell, and followed by the girl from the remake, just kind of show you what I'm talking about.
Slowly. It's too nice a jump to rush. You're very lucky to be invited up to Frank's laboratory. Some people would give their right arm for the privilege.
People like you, maybe?
I've seen it. Slowly. It's too nice a job to rush.
You are.
You're very lucky to be invited up to Frank's laboratory. Some people would give their left arm for the privilege.
People like you, maybe.
I've seen it.
Okay. I guess next we will move on to Riff Raff. Played by Rocky Horror Picture Show creator, songwriter, story writer Richard O'Brien in the original. I can't even tell you who the hell the guy was in the remake. I automatically knew it was going to be bad when they did his solo for Frankenstein's Place. Because I don't know if you've seen either one of these, but there's a point where Brad and Janet are walking up to the castle and they're singing a song, and they kind of pan up and you see Riff Raff in the window holding like a candelabra, and he does like a little solo song, and it was delivered with such power from Richard O'Brien, but then you get to this guy from 2016, and he's making like these goofy ass faces and that kind of thing, which leads me, to the opening segment in the remake, with the chick that sang science fiction double feature. She was this usher and whatnot, but she was like, she was over enunciating everything and just overacting and whatnot. I can't say that this movie had really any redeeming qualities to it. It really didn't. And my big complaint was who they got to play Dr. Frankenfurter in the remake, Laverne Cox from Orange is the New Black. She seems so stiff and so awkward at times. You know, there are times you can actually kind of see where she's unsure of herself in the movie, whereas Tim Curry, he just, you know, it's almost like he separated himself and he became Dr. Frankenfurter. You know, and Tim Curry, he mastered that role, because not only did he play it in the film, he did the stage production of the Rocky Horror Picture Show before it was even put on the film. So Tim Curry knew this role in and out. But you get into this remake with Laverne Cox, and it's just not the same. She doesn't have that magic about it that Tim Curry did. And like I said, there are times where she seems so awkward and, you know, kind of off step. I don't know how they thought this was a good idea. The whole movie was bad. I mean, and if you like the original as much as I like the original, like I said, this is one of those movies I watch every Halloween since I was like 13 years old, because it's kind of become one of those traditions. And you watch this remake and you're like, they just completely screwed this up. It was horrible. And another thing that bugged me about it is I think they tried to gain credibility for it by using Tim Curry as the narrator / criminologist, but it didn't even give it that credit that they were looking for. It was just, so I guess my final thoughts on it would be remake or reject, and I'm gonna have to say reject. I will not watch this movie again. I mean, all the way from Laverne Cox to Adam Lambert. You know, Adam Lambert, he took over the role of Eddie, who in the original was portrayed by Meatloaf. Which, another thing, they completely screwed that song up. And this guy did the same thing that the guy that played Riff Raff in the remake did. He overacted and was making goofy ass faces. They took what was a good movie, which, like I said, it's not a serious movie. You can tell it's campy and corny, and it's a riff on B-horror movies from back in the day. But they it almost seems like they were making fun of it in a way. You know, they didn't have that sort of same. They took it from being like something that was kind of, you know, lighthearted and whatnot. And they just kind of started. To me, it seems like they just started making fun of it. If you've seen the remake and you like the remake, well, you know, more power to you. Like I said, I'll never watch it again. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the original, to erase that remake from my memory. And I will see you guys later.